Yeah. So it's good to hear how you guys grew up, man. I mean, everybody has their own unique story and how they came about, man. Like, I mean, I feel like everybody, even in the audience, has a great story that could be told. But you guys actually made it possible for yourselves to be on a platform to be able to tell your story and inspire some of the, youth for the tomorrow or the Detroit's next generation or Michigan or the world's next generation. But since you guys spoke on some of your influences, I wanted to know like what was it about those influences that made you take notice to what they were doing, or like like made you kind of be like, dang, I want to be like that, or what made them special to you? So you know,
So with me, another influence I had is my cousin, my big cousin, one below. Um, he was the first person that showed me like being independent as far as a musician. You don't have to be on TV every day to live a life in that route. Um, but I think it was the independence of it. It was like you know him being able to take his son to a school trip, you know what I mean, and not being able to because he had to work, and just things like that. And those are the things that I kind of latched onto, and I noticed like friends and even family members, parents, weren't able to do those things because they were bound to certain jobs, and it's nothing wrong with that, but that was just something that I picked up and I appreciated, and I wanted to dive into that to see how I can do, take my kids to school every day and be at every event or every as much as I possibly could, So that those were the things that I latched onto.
I know for me it was I just looked around. Nobody in my family really had 9 to 5 jobs. Like my uncle, he had the skating rink. My aunt had a bookstore. My mom had a restaurant. So it was, and I always saw them working hard, but they were working for themselves. And that was something that I wanted to always do. I wanted to work for myself and create something for the people around me. So I say it was good to see that from an entrepreneurial side young, because I never was trained to go get a job. That was never the answer. It was always, what kind of business would you like to create, and what kind of business can help the people around you, meaning the community and the people in your family that may need somewhere to work. So
yeah,
So yeah, early on, man, when I think back, my father was always a numbers guy. So he was either like an accountant or a chief financial officer, or he was always running a company's financials. And so early on, I can remember being a kid and having like a multiplication chart in my room, and we would talk that. We would talk numbers. When I first started playing football at age 6, we did like playbooks together. And so I think my father, from a business standpoint, he was a super analytical thinker, and he always taught me that numbers matter. And my mom was like young. I always remember my mom being young and youthful, and so she would always, encourage me to be creative. I can remember doing, all of the school projects and stuff with my mom. We go outside, gather leaves or dry leaves for a project or whatever it may be. And so I can remember my mom telling me when I was younger, I would go to school with a quarter and come back with $1, or go to school with $1 and come back with some toys or some items. And so I think the combination of my family struggle, having my father, he was foreign, broken English kind of in a sense. My mom was super young. I think just watching my family work through the struggle and always find creative things to do, and I never felt like we were struggling as a kid. But in hindsight, when I look back on it, it was very rough for them. And so I would say, once again, for my father was always, he would tell me too, he wanted to run his own business, or he would encourage me to run my own business. He would say to me, I help everybody else make money. I need to be doing this for myself. And I would hear that all the time growing up. I'm helping all these other people make all this money, and I need to be making some money for myself. And so for me, by the time we moved to Detroit, I was already into the candy sales and Kool-Aid sales, and I was already doing things like that. And so my friends on the block wasn't really quite hip. So I would go to the candy store. We would ante up our money, go to the candy store, grab packs of candy, break them down into single now-and-laters or whatever, and sell them, and make Kool-Aid and lemonade. And we would do posters and post them up in the neighborhood and draw traffic to my mom's driveway. And she would be game for it. To her, it was just cute. You know, it was just, you know, she liked to see us do it. And that turned into me getting a job at the candy store. And I didn't mention my godfather, who the owner of the candy store. He was a very, very, very strong influence in my life. But it was after I was, you know, around 11 years old. But yeah, between my parents and my godparents, man, it was all about, you know, be resourceful, no excuses, and, you know, there's no such thing as a disadvantage if you persistent. So